Hello, my friends. Hello, welcome. Been a long time since I've been live. Well, actually, I did a live recently, but they cut it off. They took it away because they didn't like what it was. It was undoing the medical matrix. So I think that was last weekend. So today I'm coming on to do some healings or a healing for the person who comes on with me. I do have one scheduled or at least expected. So you can watch that. And yes, last weekend we undid the medical matrix. Except for YouTube. Somebody's shadow got sparked and YouTube flagged it. But I still have it. It is actually up in Patreon and it was quite massive. So we are undoing lots of energies. Lots of things have been undone. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. Welcome. Glad you're here. I'm just going to pull a quick little soul path guidance for everybody and then we'll do your healing. Okay, live. Never know what's going to come through in them either. I have some cards here I'm going to pull just quickly for everybody. And if any need to come out in your healing too, they will be here. So what I can tell you right now is these energies are super intense, super intense. And we have to watch out for allowing ourselves to create anything that we do not want. Okay. We have to be very careful with that. We don't want to create things we do not want because with these Christ energies, that's what they are. We are very powerful creators and we are truly free. Okay. We are free as long as we choose to be, detaching from that matrix system, I should say, but we truly are free creators now. They cannot stop you or block you from creating. But with that, we have to be very careful with what we say, what we think, what we do, and what we feel. And better believe, even with me, there's lots of temptation energies, we'll call them that. Negative energies that try to come in, that try to sway what we say, that try to make us think less of ourselves. Because in essence, God is love, right? God is unconditional love. And so in all we do, we want to encompass more love. It's never about right and wrong. It's where is love is not. Okay. We want that focus for all things. All right. Super important right now. So I'm just kind of burning away any fear, any energies of expectations and judgments that we all get. And whatever else needs to burn away because we have individual things as well as collective. I do burp when I release. You're going to witness that more today during the healings. So again, it is very important what you speak, what you see, what you feel, and what you believe. Very important because you are a creator and whatever it is, you are going to create that in your reality more now than ever. Okay. Manifesting is that. We've always been manifesting. We have always been creators of our reality. It used to be more dense and we used to have this veils of illusions that clouded the energy and the abilities. And we also had this system that was quite false that we would have to work through. Now you have to come out of that. But within that, I want you to consider you are manifesting heightened times 10 in all that you do. So be very careful what you say, be very careful what you do. And it's not about fear because fear is the biggest component of the Antichrist system or the matrix system. In the medical matrix, it came out very loud that is what they use against you. Big time, right? But not only that, you don't realize that they've been making us sick in very big ways. We're not meant to be because that's not the right vibration. So no matter what is rising, choose your words wisely. Okay. This morning, I've been doing the same thing. And then I've been heightening them times 10. It's like I say it loudly, I feel it, and I only speak what I wish to create. Okay. Because that's the new earth. That's the energies that are coming in right now. Very powerful Christ light energies. They're potent. And not only are they causing our shadow to rise, we have to be careful what we create in them. because you are creating your future either way. Okay. So be very careful in that. Again, not through fear. Just be aware. I don't like the word mindful because that's how they would get you. Your mind, your thoughts are not all yours. Okay. They have not been all yours. That's why one of the portals is actually Mount Shasta, which then ties into Kilimanjaro because Mount Shasta was false, but it was false. It was part of the false veil of illusion. And how they used all of that to kind of get in our head did play out in the work that I've been doing over the past 6 years now. It's going fast. So they did have this system where they would get in our head. And that's why one of the biggest marks of the beast is 666. Because 6 represents thoughts. Okay. So be aware of your thoughts and choose wisely within them. Okay. Because it's either a temptation or a test, but you are also creating that within your reality. And I don't care how little it may seem, it's not, it's quite big. So you don't want to pick any thoughts of low worth or any thoughts of things you don't want to create, okay? Because you will create them in your reality. That is what I have undone, is their shackles and the false veils of illusion and the false matrix system. And we have been given our freedom back through that, but it is up to you to choose wisely outside of that, right? To choose against the matrix, to choose sovereign beings, because we are pure sovereign beings of light. Absolutely, unequivocally, we are pure sovereign beings of light. Okay, God is within us all. And what creates karma, and I'm going to say this very loudly because it seems so complex to what karma is, but it's really not. It's when we give our power of the light to the shadow, to the matrix. That's what creates our karma. Now, this is multiple lifetimes because it's not just this one. That's the great reset of mankind. So I want you to consider we don't see all things. We don't know all things. We don't know all layers of it. We cannot see it. So that's why it's so important to be observant, to dig through every bit of everything and be very omnipresent, right? Pay really great attention to what is coming, what is happening. Understand that it's all about karma and having the opportunity to heal it by choices. And everything is a choice. And I do mean everything, no matter how big or small it seems. Okay. It could seem so simple of this little thought, and we entertain it for 2 seconds. And then we didn't realize that we just anchored in again to that wound or that shadow piece. And then we're creating that in our reality, and it's going to circle back around in your vibrational flow. The world is a replication of you. Okay. And one of the lessons people have had the hardest times with, and this is a portal lesson. This is what Revelations 21:12 speaks of, is those testaments. Each portal represented new lessons. It really does, because you have to be a sovereign being, okay? And one of the main lessons that I have watched people struggle with the most is reflections. The fact that everything truly is a reflection of you. And to understand that fully, just consider the universe is within you. You are fragmented pieces of the light of God. That's why we can't give our power away to the shadow, okay? That's what creates our karma. And that's not the power of you. Okay. But that's what they want from you, is that power. That's all they have. So the universe, the planetary system, and I've seen this multiple times. We upgraded chakra systems in the evolutionary journey of the work as well. We should have 10 internal, not 7. That's what we should come to, because it's truly 7D we're going into. I took it further. But 5D is the baseline, right? And so that's more than third dimensional. That's more than the energetic base that we were. And I had brought back dormant chakra systems. So consider all the new planets, the planetary system, the planetary alignment, all the power of that is truly housed within your energetic system, okay? So when we say the universe is truly a reflection of you, it is, okay? The power of the universe is within you. God gives you freedom. God gives you power. God gives you the opportunity to shine through his light. Okay. That's why it's super important. And that's why the shadow works so hard against you, to take that power, because that's all it has. And so we have to stand in strength and be like, that's not love. No matter what, I'm powerful. No matter what, I'm capable. I don't have to fall into the illusions. And I have to know how they get in to cause confusion. Number one, it's your mind. That's the first way. So they will create thoughts within your head. And the moment you choose to give those thoughts any kind of energy or belief, and they will use your wounds. That's why healing is required. They will use those things that trigger us or whatever you want to call it, because the world is our reflection. Outside is a reflection of your inside. Okay. Everything that rises matches your vibration. So if somebody keeps throwing shade your way and you see that and it triggers something in you, it's because you need to heal that within you. Okay. So understand that. And that's how the shadow works. Okay. So when we pick up judgments and we throw them at people, we anchor into judgment, which is not of God. That's not unconditional love. Okay. And this is a lesson. And people will have told me in the past, well, there's a definition of judgment. God's definition of judgment is different. Okay. They like to fool, they like to create a world of false illusions of grandeur. Okay. But don't fall into it. So it is our responsibility to choose very wisely through every thought, through every action, through every choice that we make, to only choose love. And within that, no matter how hard it feels, it feels harder when we're not anchored into the right things. And you better believe, I remember on my twin flame journey, like they break you down. Yeah, that energy will try to break you down. But if you anchor into the right things, you are stronger than you ever thought you could be. You can do anything. You really, truly can. And let me tell you, we're not alone, right? There are angels, there are guides, there are beings that are always around us that will give us strength if we ask. But we have to ask. And I think we forget to do that sometimes, right? Because we don't realize we felt alone because the matrix takes our power. So we feel victimized. That's where victimhood consciousness comes from. But it is your choice to not give it. Okay. So choose very wisely at this time. Whatever thoughts come in that are not of love, you need to call your power back. You need to clear them and you need to choose only love. And that was the lessons I had to clear too. Like it happened to me many times during the return of Christ work. God would say, hey, go to Fiji. And I'm like, why are we going to Fiji? We were like, I don't know. But there was always something negative that tried to stop it. And it tries to stop in many ways. And God calls that the resistance. Okay. So the biggest lessons I've watched people struggle with is pushing past that resistance, choosing only love, thoughts, words, actions. Okay. Not giving our power away to the shadow. And then realizing that everything that's happening that you see, that triggers you, that affects you, that you see is a reflection of your vibration. So what God's asking you to do, or the universe is showing you, is, hey, that's in you to heal. One can only see in something else that is within them to see. So it's your job to heal it. Don't throw it at anybody. I call that the asshole energy because the shadow will use anybody that will pick it up and throw it at anybody. That's the wrath. That's actually the portal of the Nile, is all about wrath. So depending upon which side of the karma you're on, you're going to really start to heighten in wrath, right? If wrath is something you have been affected by before. So use everything as a way to heal, to clear, to rise, lessons in karmic demise. Nothing is outside of you. Nobody's better or less than anyone. Nobody. Okay. We all have capabilities. We all have lessons to learn. And the biggest one that I've watched people truly fall from is that the world is a reflection of you. Everything is a reflection of your vibration. Everything. So if you choose thoughts of negativity, if you choose thoughts of demise, like, oh gosh, I'm worrying about the future, you are going to create that. Okay. This whole manifesting thing, that's like level 1 of awakening. And when we were in third dimensional dense energy, manifesting was something that was outside of most people's consciousness. You are a manifester. And in the house of God, we will just feel and create just like that. Okay. And our job is to not give God's light to the shadow, because that's what took down Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. Is the shadow, the matrix components, the puppet master, getting people to give their light to them. That's what took down Christ. Okay. So to think anybody's outside of that, not necessarily, right? But it's not about blame or shame either. Those are all concepts of the matrix. It's just our job to see where we're giving our power away to the shadow. And they will use anything against you, your thoughts, your loved ones, wherever you give your power away, they're going to heighten it times 2. So temptations, if we have addictions, we have to be strong against those, right? It's wherever we give our power away, whatever controls us. Wounds, addictions, there's multiple ways that they do that. All right. Some of what they told you is truth, and some of it is not. Okay. So choose wisely in all you do. Speak, feel, be, love, joy, whatever you wish to create only. And there's no excuses. I've heard so many people do that. Well, there's like, that's the shadow. Like, no, time cannot be used either because it's false. And that's part of the matrix component. They want you to think ahead or behind, and neither one exists anymore. All we have is the here and the now. So it's really important to call our focus in this moment only, and not external on everybody else, but internal, as everything's a reflection of you. Okay. These are lessons of the ascension. And if we can't get those, we got work to do. Okay. Those are the lessons of the ascension. Those are the portal lessons. And karma, you heal by choices hidden in disguise. You won't even know half the time it's a choice. But those littlest tiny of choices are very large. And they come in the form of reflections, temptations, illusions of grandeur, and negative thoughts. Resistance can be physical, mental, emotional. Like there is times where I literally feel like there's a weight sitting on my chest and pushing against me. Everything will go crazy, blah, 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 electronics, everything will like not work. And I'm like, number 1, clear it out, clear your energy, call your power back, and then anchor into the earth and do it again. Call on assistance from the creator and the angels. We have to use our tools wisely. Okay. So resistance there's no excuse. They will use money as an excuse. Money is not what it should have been. Money should not cause people to suffer. Money should not be our main focus over love. And that's another big part of it. In undoing the money matrix, that's another tool that they will use against you. Medical field, another one. Okay. These are all false systems. And the symbols have called home and everything, right? So be aware of that. Whenever you're like, I can't, then you won't. If you think you're going to suffer with money, you're giving your power away to the money matrix. If you think money is so important, you're giving your power away to the money matrix. If you think you can't afford something, you're giving your power away to the money matrix. Literally, like we are all deserving. It's up to your vibration. Okay. Also, like I have to go to this job. I hate bull to the shit talkie. Okay. We don't. We have to align with love, joy, passion, creation, balance, heart center. Okay. Money is a big one. I've literally had people tell me, well, you can't charge for your work because that's not God. No, that's not true. God's the one who told me to do what I've done. Everything, because I wasn't charging at first. I tried to give so much away for free and people won't even take it. I've actually tried to give the path to righteousness away like 3 different times. And it did not work out. So money is just a tool, but it's also part of that matrix system. Money is not more important than love. And it's not about the money. If anybody ever said, hey, Brie, I want to do this. Can you like give me a deal? Absolutely. What can you afford? That's never stopped me. You just have to ask because it has to be an exchange, right? So, there's illusions at play. And they stole all of these things to manipulate, divide, and control. Like, think about money. Think about money. How really dirty is money? People have died for money. People have killed for money. Okay. It's been used in very nasty ways. Not only that, we're afraid to not have money. another matrix component. But then you don't even realize how much of a creator you are. How much you just align to a high vibration, staying in the here and the now, focusing on love and joy and calling it in. And when you're in balance, that is a byproduct to be abundant. So these are lies and they are illusions of grandeur. Okay. Money is a tool, and one that the matrix made to be very controlling, very dirty, and more important than love. And we should not suffer due to money. We should not suffer because we can't afford food and water. These are false. And those are part of the karmic play out. So where you choose to give your power away, you create your karma. Okay. If I allow money to control me and my decisions, and that is my number one focus, I am giving the power of creator to the matrix. If I allow fear in any way to control my decisions and stop me from my soul path, I'm giving my power away to the matrix. I am a creator. We are very powerful beings of light. We are fragments of God's light and power, and we have free will. That's God. The shadow takes that away. It's like being imprisoned. But we don't think it is because we enjoy spending and we enjoy doing things, right? So there's ways that they make it fun, but it's still being controlled and shackled and bound. So this is the collective message right now. It's very important. We have to choose everything wisely. We have to be in our own power as a creator. Okay. And if there are wounds, please don't use those as excuses. We've all had them. I had a lot of healing to do myself. Trust me, I get that. The world sucked ass and it caused a lot of pain. And there was not a lot of unconditional love. So there's lots of layers of wounds, but that is the one thing the shadow will use against you. So we can't allow that. Okay. When something rises, heal it. When something triggers something in you, don't blame them, just heal it. If you need love from others, it's because you're not giving love to you. If you need others to validate you, it's because you are in a victimhood consciousness. Others cannot validate you until you are in the vibration of that. Okay, because there's shadow. Right? So we can't put all this pressure on others. We can't expect others to be our happiness. Number one, that's not fair. They're struggling in their own stuff. And number two, it's because we're wounded. And it's our responsibility to find love again. So it's never about right or wrong, and it's never about blame or shame. It's about where love is not. Okay? And don't let the shadow convince you otherwise. Do not let the shadow wreak havoc in your mind, your body, or your soul, because that is where your karma will play out from this day forward. Okay? If you're watching my work, I cleared Mount Shasta, activated the pyramids, freed Jesus' soul, united Jesus and Mary Magdalene, undid the Holy Grail. Sekhmet and Horus have returned. The sun and the moon have been realigned and rebirthed and healed, especially all of the darkness of the moon. The truth about Adam and Eve, the truth about Sekhmet and Horus, and Jesus and Mary Magdalene have all come through. We undid the religious matrix system. The Sistine Chapel has been undone. The money matrix system has been undone. The power of the elements returned back from the pentagram. The pentagon power of the pentagram has all been undone. The White House burns and falls and crumbles, and Kilimanjaro activations. There's a lot. Okay. The system, the world that we knew is dying, and we do not want to fall with it. All right. So really quick cards. And then if Lisa's still here, we will do her healing. I love it when they go flying because then I got to pick them up. Okay. So here's the thing. The first card that came out is luck. And if you remember, my first part of the message is whatever you feel, see, or believe, you create. Okay. And it's not to say that's easy. There's a new thing that I'm rising to where I have to open up to further. It's always about opening up to further abilities to love more. Even when we're wounded, that can be difficult. That's true. But I could sit here and go, woe is me, or I can own my responsibility in it because it's never because of somebody else always. We are always responsible for some part in things. And I can go, you know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is healing it and bringing in more love. Okay. So I choose that. And even if it's hard for me to say something positive, I think I said it like 50 times this morning until it felt good. Okay, so it's hard to say it at first, and that's how I know there was a wound there, and it had to do with just love more. I'm not going to get into the details because I'm keeping that close to my heart. But it had to do with loving more. And when I would say something, it didn't feel right because I could tell there was a wound in there. And I was like, oh, and I'm like, but, and the energy of resentment comes up, and it's resentment is based in judgments and expectations of others. And that's not fair. Who am I to say they should have, could have, or would have? Hello, Roger. Right? So we have luck on our side. Anything is possible. It is up to us to speak it, to create it. We can't expect a false matrix system to create it for us anymore. We have to create it for ourselves now. Okay? We have to create it for ourselves now by what we think, feel, believe, and create every single day. Just like the world is a reflection of you. Okay, so if I'm focused on woe is me, my wounds, my triggers, blah, 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 or fear, or whatever parts of the matrix, then I am creating all of that muck. And this is very real. Like, we are in the new earth energies. So we have to be aware of that. Okay. We have to be very aware of that. You are responsible from this day forward what happens to you. You are responsible. Okay. The matrix is dying. It has 0 oxygen left. 0. And if you watch my Birthing the New Earth, I keep talking about that. Day 6 was so important because in day 6 of Birthing the New Earth, even the fallen lost the heartbeat to God. Okay. The matrix system truly is losing oxygen of life support. And you're watching this play out. Right? And I know it's pretty crazy that I've said these things. I've said since 2020, California was losing life support. I cut it off from life support. And you're literally seeing that happen. Not only do they have the fires that I said would come, they had no water. They struggled. Okay. They had less water. They lost firefighters. What does that mean? Losing life support. It's quite vast, right? And who are we to dictate what that means? It is our job to be observant to what that means and to not be in fear of this stuff. The changes are inevitable. The purge is inevitable, but it's a lens that we house. Is it a blessing, or are you afraid? Are you afraid your structure is going to crumble? Or are you finally thankful to be free and ready to call in all that abundance and to align to truth of it? Your lens is everything. Okay. So if you give your power away to negative thoughts or fear, you're going to create that. So luck is on your side. Okay. And if you let wounds dictate you or cut you off your path or take you back a notch, call in strength. Okay. And just heal them. That's what it's about. All right. We're not victims. Nobody's a victim. That victimhood consciousness is so important to understand. Really quickly, I want to give a little, because I've talked about that a lot, and it's something that you will come into as you're healing, because what God says victimhood consciousness is, and what I've seen it be, is we are power depleted. The matrix takes your power away. You're a powerful being of light, a very powerful creator. And in the matrix system, we're divided, we're shackled, we're bound, and we're controlled. And we're lied to a lot. We have power. We call in, we create. I don't need to suffer. I don't need to struggle. I don't need to worry if I can eat or drink or have a house over my head. Those are false things, okay? And they create fear, and they cause us to give our power away to this system. So it's really important to be in that power and that lens. Okay, I'm a creator. Much like when the things came out, they were like, you won't be able to work. We're going to cut off your livelihood. And people felt like they had no choice. That's an illusion. Okay. Are you willing to stand strong and choose wisely into your own power and love? Okay. You are a creator. All right. Luck is on your side if you choose it to be. But if you don't believe, there ain't nothing that God can even do for you. You have free will, so nothing can happen to you, only through you, from shadow to light. Okay? But you've got help if you call on it, either way you go. You have to make a commitment to the nurturement of the soul, co-creation, I'm hearing in this card. Commitment to co-creation, the reality that you wish comes from your heart space. So that's not like it's like something outside of you, right? That's your higher self, that's your heart, that's God. It's all within your heart space. We have guides, we have beings of light, and angels are so freaking amazing. If it weren't for the angels, I wouldn't have survived. Let me tell you. They're amazing and they know, but they can't do it for you. You have to call on them, and then you have to follow their guidance without hesitation and without judgment, without ego. Okay. You just literally hear the call and do it, right? It's a commitment to that. It's a commitment to letting go of what doesn't work and rising to what does, and co-creating without skipping a beat. Because if God says do something, if your heart says do something and it's soul path aligned, soul growth, right? Healing, and you hesitate, you give your power away to that, to the shadow. Then it becomes harder. Okay. And then we can't hear anymore. We can't see as clearly anymore. And so luck is on your side if you're committing to the right things. Okay. But the matrix side is losing oxygen. No matter what, you can't stay the same. Then we have bond. Love, bond, heart space, togetherness, union, not separation, not judgment, not division. There is strength in love. Okay. There's strength in coming together in the bond of love. And now, you guys, this isn't always external. They want me to say that. This is also internal. If you feel like you're lonely, you can't just sit here and go, I'm lonely, I want to call something in. That's an external focus. If I need love, I've got to look at myself and go, ooh, where am I not loving myself? Where do I feel depleted in love? Because no matter what, I should feel fulfilled in that, no matter what other people are doing or no matter who's around me. I need to fulfill that. Okay. So if I feel like I'm weak, it's because I'm not standing in strength. I'm giving my power away. If I feel empty in love, it's because I'm not loving myself. I'm giving my power away. And I am a twin soul, big time. So I get that. Like, I want him to love me. And then it's like, okay, well, where can I love myself more? Where am I not loving him? And that I have to do on many levels. It's not been an easy journey. And I can be like, look what he did. That's not love. That's expectation and judgment. Resentment is expectation and judgment on somebody else. So where am I responsible? Where was I not loving? And I literally asked him, what can I do? And he said, because of what happened, you closed off love. And I'm like, oh, that's true. And that's not his fault. That's not fault does not exist. So I have to look and go, okay, no matter what people have done, no matter what the shadow has done, I can love more. This is an opportunity for me to stand and love more, no matter what, no matter the wounds, no matter what, because that's expectation or judgment. So it's my responsibility. And I'm not going to allow any thoughts or words to come out of my mouth that I don't want to create. So even if it's hard for me to say it, I'm going to say exactly what I want until it feels really good and until it creates in my environment. Okay? So that is the message. And I could sit here and go, no, because that came in. It's like, you didn't love me. You didn't do this. That's, again, expectations and judgment. Who am I to say what they could have, should have, or would have done or were supposed to do? They have free will. I'm not here to control them. You feel me? Nobody is solely responsible for anything. The shadow is strong. So never about right or wrong, always about where love is not. And everything is a reflection of you. Everything. And I reflect people's shadows times 10. Okay, so use that wisely. Never as a reflection back, only as a way to heal within you. That's how you heal your karma. All right, my friends. But be careful, because you guys, I saw another Reiki master the other day cutting old contracts from people, removing them from old contracts of the past. You realize that is a detriment. They cannot rise if you do that. So don't do that. Don't ever do. We need those contracts. Those contracts are important because we want to heal them to the light. Because there's other energies on the other side of that contract as well. We are not soul people. We're all connected and we all matter and we all deserve love. So that's what it's about. Karma's created where love was not. We don't want to burn those, cut those, and get rid of those. And I see so many people going, thank you. No, you don't realize what they just did, because there is shadow in spirituality. Don't think there's not. That was actually in every sector. Okay. All right, Lisa, are you ready for your healing? Are you ready? I do burp. If you're not familiar with me, it's a good thing. It's gross. If I was a kid, I was kind of girly at some points, but also tough. I'm truly a mountain girl. You know what I mean? Like, we were tough. So burping was a thing. But then also on the other side of that, I was like, ew, gross. So I would have never thought they would have grown up burping in people's faces for a living and saying, it's okay. But it is what it is. The things we don't know. All right. She says yes. When I first started, it was so intense. I would sweat profusely. I wasn't burping yet. And I would take on every symptom that people had. I did a healing on somebody with seizures in the moment, and I literally had a seizure. I was like, ugh. Like, it was rough. So I'll take burping. I'll take burping. I'll take being able to just push it out and not absorb it, or, you know, like, that was rough. All right, my friends. Lisa says yes. Okay, Miss Lisa, I have not done a healing. I'm hearing in the energy since I cleared the medical matrix. So this is going to be fun. All right. So each time I've cleared something of the matrix, more power comes back to the light. Symbolism, power, connection, and so on. So it's always an upgrade. No matter what. All right. So I'm going to ask you to have your feet on the floor. Wherever you are, can you please put your feet on the floor, because there's something going on with your connection. And I feel that right away. I also need to pull a card. Excuse me, as I'm tuning into your energy, Lisa. There's also a little bit of cloudy haze over your head, and it's like going down into your ear. So there is some shadow there. There is something like cloudy and dark, and it's blinding. And it's going into your ear. So it is feeding you some negativity. You're hearing negativity. That's because there is this. Now, the thing is again, no victimhood. You did give your power away to it at some point. So we have to look at that. Okay. So this is before I'm even fully in your energy. I need your feet on the floor. And I see this cloud over your head. And it's literally feeding like, okay. But you gave your power away to it. So the key to that now, for today especially, probably, I don't dictate these, is to see how and remove that, right? So let's see what the cards say. I'm feeling an urgency with this too. Hang on. Okay. Okay. Oh, goodness. Ooh. Okay. So here we have this. We have some risks are worth taking, so keep going. Okay. But I know you're a fighter. I know you've got a fight in this. But this is coming out for a reason, regardless of what I know about you. There is something within you that wants to give up. Okay. So some risks are worth all the effort. Keep going. And this is soul path, very big time, you guys. If you think the soul path is not worth that risk, consider the other option is dying in the reality, right? The matrix is dying. So we won't have a foundation to hold on to anymore. And it's an illusion they want you to think there will be. There won't. It's already done. So the risk to step out of that is amazing. Okay. But it's going to make you think it's not. It creates fear and these false timelines of illusion. But don't give them power, because then you create them. Okay, so nope, cancel, clear, delete. I will have this. This is going to happen no matter what you say. You're not reality. Okay, I will not choose that. I've literally had this example throughout multiple areas in my whole entire life. I remember my ex-husband was extremely abusive, and I literally had to go to court, and I couldn't afford an attorney, and everybody's like, you're going to lose your kids. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. Why would I lose anything? And there was like this whole push, and this horrible attorney on his side, this female, and she was always constantly trying to like poison me and push fear and like accusing me of all these things. And I felt like I was like burying. I'm like, how do I find my, and I just, I was like, no, it's all a lie. No. And I literally would envision and just stand strong and never allow anything to stop me, never allow anything to cloud me. And I won. Okay. Without an attorney, I beat his high powered, expensive attorney. So don't give power to the illusions. That's so important. And I have to say that for you, Lisa, even if I know you're strong, but somehow there is still you giving your power away a little bit. So you have to be very careful of that, okay? And remember, it's the risks. Keep going is the biggest word in this that stands out for you. But again, it's about releasing, okay? Releasing is required, so time to set something free, right? There is something within you you're not allowing to be free. And I feel like part of you is holding on to it. And I don't want to hear, I don't know what it is and I don't know how, because that doesn't matter. We don't have to know, and we don't have to know how. We would just literally intend to release it and then allow spirit to show me what I need to release. Like, why not? Right. So it's never about, well, I don't know. How do I do that? Literally ask. Right. There's something here I have to say that you're afraid to let go of. It's creating fear. And that goes into this keep going. Some risks are worth it. Now, that part you may not see clearly, and that's okay. But it's never about knowing. It's just about the intention and then going and doing. Okay. Again, when we ask to see, we will see. They will show us. All right. Just set the intention. And then we have divination expansion, outdated forms of communication. Okay. This is coming in very loud for you is because you can't speak anything outside of love. There's no reason why you should. Okay. We all hurt. We all feel lonely. And again, when you feel those things, it's because you're not giving them to yourself. It's nobody else's responsibility but yours. Because it's just like if I get into a marriage and I expect them to be my happiness, that's a lot of pressure on somebody else. But I can do it. I can make sure that I'm filling my cup, that I feel beautiful, right? That I feel loved. Because when I feel like I truly love myself and I'm worthy of love, guess what I give back? Oh my. And then instead of like expecting them, I just want to pour love, make them feel good because I'm making myself feel good. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to dive into what you're afraid to release. That's what I'm hearing. And then you gave your power away to some negativity. So we have to be very careful because this communication is coming in very loudly. Be careful what you speak and allow to even think. Okay. Reflections, but keep going, right? Just don't stop. The thing I hear about this, I need to repeat like a little more clearly, is that hesitation in you, the need to step back and pause is creating havoc. Like if I got stopped on my journey because something kicked my ass, I'm going to push harder. I cannot give it a second. I cannot give things a second. It doesn't matter if it hurts. You guys, on my twin flame journey on the Return of Christ work, it was so difficult. And it didn't matter what was coming my way. It didn't matter how painful my arm. I couldn't even have surgery. I couldn't take painkillers, nothing. I had to just let them squeeze my bones back into place. And this one split in half and popped out of my skin. Okay. It's not a joke. That was part of the attack that I was going through. And my DM was with negative energies. And I had to sit there and I had to stand in strength. But I couldn't give a second of my energy to them. Not a negative thought, not a negative anything. Like, I can, I will, I am. And I would anchor into the earth, and I would call on spirit, and I would feel love, and I would feel strength. And they would bring healing every time I needed it. And this went on for like a year, and it would get in my head. And it was a horrible battle I thought would never end. And then eventually he was healed so much, God gave him another opportunity. And in the end, I got a new walk-in. And the moment I got a walk-in DM, all this light filled the dome. And then the resurrection occurred after that. So when something is super difficult, don't give it a second. Call your power back and anchor into the right things. We cannot hesitate. And there's no excuses. We all have wounds. But release that shit. Okay, I'm not here to sit in that wound. It's time for it to go and for me to be whole again. And there's a power upgrade behind that. So we're all strength. Okay, we have to anchor into the right things. You do this like pause, and that allows this cloud to get in your head, and then you gave them a second of even a thought. Okay, so it's super important to never hesitate to God, or to the light, or to love, or to growth, or to strength, or to healing, whatever it is that's needed. Don't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the warrior? Because I wouldn't have, my DM didn't survive. And I wouldn't have otherwise. And I wouldn't have got a beautiful walk-in, and we wouldn't have completed the ascension. But it's complete. Like, love really did win because I kept choosing love. So I would focus on where love was rather than where love was not. And instead of focusing on the pain, I would literally, again, just fill my cup with everything that I had. Joy, healings. You have no idea how many beings would come in and do healings on me too. It was quite beautiful. It was amazing. And somehow I'm fully functional, and I shouldn't have been. Somehow I draw better than I used to, and I shouldn't have been able to. I can use my hand. It gets tired. It gets a little painful, but it's amazing. So there are no excuses, okay? Where you're missing something, give it to yourself, but this hesitation is wreaking havoc, okay? All right. So let's go into the healing. And we're all in the same boat, sunshine. Like, trust me, we all have the same similar wounds to get through at some layer. And they can be hard. I could have given up easily, being like, he doesn't love me. What's the point? He's just attacking me. And like, there was many reasons I could have even entertained that. And I never did. I'm like, no, it's not. Nope, I choose love. And I would rise above, and I would meditate, and I would anchor in, and I would, when the pain was severe, like, you're talking severe, like this bone ripped all the way up to my elbow, and it came out my skin right here. This bone split in two, everything shoved into my wrist. So these fingers were actually locked down. All of my wrist bones were pretty much shattered. It was horrible. It was a freak accident too. You can't even explain how it did that. And it went all the way down to my elbow. And literally, they just squeezed everything back into place. And it's not perfect. It's a little misaligned. So when the pain was excruciating, it was never like, woe is me, I can't do my healings today. It would like swell up so bad when I was doing the pyramid activations at that time. It was extremely painful. But I would literally anchor into the earth, meditate, and clear my mind. And with that, the pain would like, we are powerful. We are very powerful. We can do it. It doesn't matter. Warrior applied. Okay? Warrior applied. Warrior. No excuses. Now, call your power back. Okay? All right. So right away, I see that again, it's very powerful, and it's above your head, and it's kind of causing me a headache as I go into your energy. And the headache is localized towards like the right side, and it's kind of going into my ear, and it's feeding negativity into my ear. But this is actually something you let in, okay? It didn't just happen to you, it happened through you. So again, no hesitations. Wow, keep going, like anchor into the right things. And I go over that a lot in my Twin Flame course. That is actually for everybody that I know you're going to get. And healing's in there too, but it's super important to anchor into the right things, like no matter what, and use them like, you know what I mean? Like if there's something taking our power away, we got to take it back again, like times 2 and over that. Like, no, and fill it and don't give space to the other. Okay. So with your feet on the floor, my right foot is like blocked. I cannot connect to the earth. I can't connect to the earth, but I also need to bring down a golden pillar. A golden pillar of light, and then a bubble of like onyx. A bubble of onyx that I'm going to kind of draw around you for protection. So I need to bring down the golden pillar of light, but I'm not bringing it down your chakras. I'm bringing it down and around you, and then a layer of onyx as well. And then I'm going to start drawing up from the earth. We have the element of fire that I'm bringing up beneath your feet to start burning away the muck and the yuck there because I can't get through. So as I'm trying to bring up the light, and I felt this already, it's in your right foot. Like my right foot is blocked at the well, it kind of goes through the heel too, but at the indent of the foot, the sole of the foot, it's blocked. Like it's truly blocked. It's like this very dense energy I can't get through. And it's almost like I'm decalcifying a pineal gland here. Like I have to chip away at almost what looks like calcification here. It's very interesting. So part of the way the shadow works is trying to knock you off your foundation. As we're building it, it's going to try to knock you off. So we have to anchor in strength. We have to anchor in strong, use the right tools, and not let anything come in even for a second. And there's no excuses or reasonings why. That's victimhood consciousness. So that means you're power depleted. And right away, I feel something in your gut. So I'm starting to feel something in my solar plexus, but also towards my navel and my sacral. It's like in that area. And I'm starting to break through the right foot. So the fire, I'm going to use this fire, the element of fire beneath your feet. You're also blocked from your Earth Star chakra. So I'm going to allow that to cleanse that and reconnect you. So I see this connection kind of going down from your feet to your Earth Star chakra, and also bringing up the light and then the fire beneath your feet. I'm going to have the fire stay there. And this fire has red, yellow, and orange. So that tells me too, it's your power, your strength, and your foundation. Okay. And then there's something between your heart and your throat. Working very closely in the new earth energies coming through the pyramid activations and all that, I have to tell you is when you carry the light of Christ, you cannot allow yourself to speak outside of that. It's very important because it hurts you. And I see that here. There's like this owie connection between my heart and my throat. Blame and shame and victimization. And this is not like, oh, woe is you. How dare you? This is a shadow. This is a shadow we all have to deal with. Everybody, I don't care who you are, has to deal with this and come through these in similar fashions. It just may not have power over you like it does others, right? But it's all similar shadow. Remember, we have a collective shadow and an individual shadow. The collective shadow creates our individual shadow where we give it power. So I'm finally bringing in the light through your left and your right foot and into your ankle. And now as I reach into your ankle and I'm going up your calf, I'm removing some debris there. And this is all on your right side that I feel it, not so much on the left, but I need my feet bare. I need them on the floor too. So there went the fire. I said it was going to stay. It might come back in, but all of a sudden I just saw all this like water. So this is also emotions. Your emotions can truly take over you. It's like this, just emotions, and they do take over you. It's not that they're not valid, but they take over and they kind of like become like this flood. Turn mountains to molehills. So instead of everything seeming so large, so difficult, or I don't knows, just shrink that. I do know, I can see, and where I don't know, they will show me. I have to ask because I can't see everything. So I just ask. I allow them to guide me. I take actions, and that's what it is. And then once I clear them, then I become knowing. Remember that. And then I heard based in lack. Lack rises multiple times on our journey as a test, and also based in wounds, right? Because that's what that creates. The old world is lack. I'm also hearing kidneys. So I need to like leave the energetic stuff for a moment, and I'm going to draw the light up through your legs, your knees, your thighs. And as I'm drawing up there, I'm stopped at your femur on the left side, and I need to scrape some bone marrow. There is some conditioned responses in your skeletal system, and it's wreaking havoc on your system. And some more clavicle healing is coming if we allow it, is what I'm hearing. And so I need to scrape the bone marrow in your femur, your left femur, and I feel the right clavicle. So it's trying to bring in more healing, but sometimes you hold on to it. You don't really want to let it go. I feel like you've gained something from that wound, right? Like, let's say if I'm hurting, maybe I've gotten attention. Somehow I have felt something from that, like it provided something for me at some point, but it won't anymore. It's time to truly let that wound go, and it will heal. And so there's no reason why it wouldn't. And so clavicle repair is starting to come through in the, I want to say genetic composition, but it doesn't have anything to do with your genes. It's just in the blueprint of your body. Like it's trying to start to process from all the healings and the emotional work and everything else you've been doing. So it's trying to, but then you block it and you want to hold on to it. So this is that card, I feel like, is part of that. And the water that I saw at your feet also plays into this. So I'm going to scrape again some bone marrow in your femur, and I can feel it. It's like really weird. It's like, oh, like it feels a little weird. I'm really getting down in there. I'm really getting down in there. And it's only right in the middle of your femur. So it's not the whole thing. I'm going right for the middle, and I'm scraping this bone marrow. This has to do with a clavicle repair and an emotional displacement. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, so now I'm drawing the light up right to your kidneys. And then your adrenal glands, and then my boob hurts. Ouch. So like kind of underneath my arm as I go towards my breast. Doesn't quite feel right. It's not like a severe pain, but it's just like weird. Like I don't like it. So I'm in the kidneys, and I wanted to say I was focused on your left, and then I felt the right. So it's just really both. But then the right is heightened. And then my left one hurts. So you see, it's like going back and forth between your kidneys. So there's some stress built up here. So the thing is there's nothing doing this to you. It's like, why do you beat yourself up? Why do you keep putting yourself through this emotional washing machine? It's like all of a sudden I put myself on this emotional blast of blah, 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 and your body is feeling it because your body is asking for high vibrational states of being as well, because it's also rising. And so when we allow things to take our vibration down, our body responds in the same manner. And I feel that in our kidneys. Your kidneys have a stress enzyme buildup here. And you're also low on iron. So I'm going to bring some mineral-rich soil, the beautiful, fresh, powerful mineral-rich soil, iron-rich soil. And I need to bring it up through your blood flow. And I'm beelining it to your kidneys. So as I'm doing that, I'm bringing it to your kidneys. I went right to my heart. Not the heart chakra. And it's hitting this emotional releasing, which also hits my clavicle and my shoulder. And I can feel it in there. And there's just something I like, because the thing is we would always gain something from things, right? Like we did things in the world prior that served a purpose for some reason, but they no longer will. It just will no longer serve any purpose of good. So it's really time to let those go, but also to take your power back from your emotions. And then there's lack. So lack is not always associated with money. Lack can be associated with many things. Love, being seen, right? How people respond to you, if that affects you, it's based in lack. So we have to look at where all the details of lack are coming into play in your reality, where lack is truly hitting you, because we don't really lack anything. If you're omnipresent and your vibration is high and we just feel the love, like, woohoo, we give everything to ourselves. We truly do. And then it will reflect in your reality. And that's not always easy, but it's not about easy. It's about removing what is not. And this is hurting in my clavicle a lot. There's lack. It's like a big chunk of lack. So I still feel the kidneys, but I also have to go to the muscle of the heart and release stress enzyme. And it's messed with the hormones. And so then I go to the adrenal glands. Now, you know how healing's layered. So I see a new layer here I've never seen before. And from the adrenal glands, part of it like went dormant that's connected to your thyroid. So the thyroid is a direct connection to the adrenal glands. Our metabolism. Also a direct connection to things like osteoporosis and our bone density, I'm hearing. Hormone levels, our immune system. Oh. Sorry, I'm feeling like this crazy pain on the left side of my thyroid. But from that, it's associated with my adrenal glands. There's trauma there. I don't know if you've had surgery on your thyroid. I know something's happened to your thyroid in the past, but there is something missing. So I feel like there's some trauma and it hurts. I can't remember everything, but I know your thyroid has been heightened before. I know stuff has happened there. Yeah. But like there's like this trauma reflecting on the left side of the thyroid. That's where it's reflecting. like, and I can feel like this weird line, and it's going to the left side of your thyroid, and it's like twinges of pain, like uncomfortableness, like a very discomforting. It doesn't feel right. And then from there, I see the adrenal glands. Now, your left adrenal gland, maybe that's why it's reflecting on the left side of your thyroid and the connection there. I don't know. This is a little bit of a new connection that I've never seen before like this, because everything's always new, right? I love it. I welcome it. But from the left side of your thyroid to the adrenal gland on the left side, it's like on your adrenal gland, it's like this little weird bean nodule. And then on the top of that is it's blackened. It's like kind of like dead. I don't like that word, but it's lost the ability to function, and it's connected directly to the thyroid. So remember the mineral-rich soil? I'm bringing it in directly to this space with the light. So I'm bringing it into the adrenal glands. But oddly enough, I'm going through the kidney. That's how they want me to do it. So I'm going through the kidney. That's relevant. Number one, you have iron low. And number two, it's going to help detox the kidney a little bit, I'm hearing, but it's also going through that into the adrenal gland, which is also contributing to your low in iron and hormone levels, and also really contributes to my left breast. Now, my left breast, like it's not so painful, but it just feels weird. So I'm going to start to bring light there, I'm sure. There's a little tissue damage as well. Like if I put it in like this vise, I could think of like a workshop, and there's like this vice grips, and they put it in and they tighten it, and I feel that on my breast, and it does cause tissue damage. So it actually ripped some tissues on the left side of your breast. So my breast is weaker in being able to hold itself up, so to speak. But the weird feelings is in like my body, like my kidney and my adrenal gland. So it's like below my stomach. And I can kind of feel it into my back. It's almost like a little above my hip. And then I can feel it also into the front side of my stomach. So I'm also bringing up the water, pure, cleansed, purified, palpable, powerful, pure water. And I'm drawing it up to the kidney. Now I have the soil providing the nutrients, but I need the kidney to kind of, the water to kind of help flush the kidney, but it also needs the moisture. So I don't know why, if like you've drank water and you're not absorbing it, but you're definitely dehydrated. The dehydration is reflecting through your kidney. Sometimes when we get like stressed, or certain things can also block our water intake. So it may not necessarily be that you're not drinking enough water. It might be that, but it's also that you're not absorbing it. I got sick to my stomach, and I felt very overwhelmed and very emotional, and I felt like a failure. And see, these are the negative things that I was giving my power away to, and it uses our wounds and a victimhood consciousness. So you are power depleted. You're giving your power away where it does not belong. But also it ties to this emotion that's been trying to release, that ties to your clavicle. There's something within that you have not been willing to let go. That goes back to the card. I don't know, my eyes are closed, but the card with the bird and releasing needed. So like almost like I'm afraid to release this. And there could be multiple reasons why. It's really good to ask spirit some guidance on that. What am I afraid to release? What emotion is tied to this? What have I been holding on to? Why am I afraid to release it? I'm ready to release this now. I'm ready to set this free. I'm ready to feel this emotion and then allow it to rise as it's going to be. No expectations, because we don't know. Just allow it to be omnipresent and observant. But intention is everything. But be willing to. It's up to you. But it's time. because this is a clavicle healing that's waiting to come through here. It's my clavicle, but it also goes back into my shoulder blade, and then it also affects my neck. But it's tied to my heart and my solar plexus, my sacral, and my root. Remember the fire colors. So what do those represent, right? So it's kind of connected to all of that. Worth, I'm hearing self-esteem, power, control of the world around you. You don't always like to surrender that. So why, right? Asking why and being ready to do so. And it'll be once you heal that and allow that free, this can start to process through. Because there is bone healing that needs to occur here in the clavicle and in the shoulder blade that I feel like I've already aligned. It's just being blocked by the emotions that are tied with it. Layered. Everything is very layered, and we have to be willing to let the layers go for the totality of the healing to take place. Now I'm going to my thyroid again. I'm getting winded. I'm getting tired. I don't sleep well. My head kind of hurts, and I'm dehydrated. My hemoglobin, I also need some healing in the hemoglobin, which ties into the adrenal gland and the kidney. And also your myelin sheath. So, and I feel this in my gut. These are all connected. So my thyroid, my adrenal gland, my kidney, into the brain stem, and into my pituitary gland and my hypothalamus, and then my myelin sheath. So they're all connected. They, again, all affect each other, but they're all very much so connected. And in my thyroid, it hurts at the top left now. So I moved to the top left of my thyroid, and it actually hurts. I've had trauma here. My thyroid has experienced trauma. I also got the image, and let me explain this, of somebody's hands on your throat. Like, I feel like that's a little bit layered. Number one, somebody has hurt you with words, but you hurt yourself with words. And number two, your expectations are choking you, like on others. And on yourself. Yeah. So it's like, but this also deals with some form of domestic stuff that's rising. Not to say, I don't feel like somebody may have necessarily done that. They might have, but I feel like it's an emotional response. Like, toxic relationship, like type energy. But my thyroid, I'm really tuning into the thyroid. So let me draw a lot of light here. And I almost need to like put it in my hands and like rejuvenate it, awaken it. And it needs estrogen. It needs vitamin K and tryptoline, tryptocholine. So I'm just kind of like, I feel like I'm like rubbing it, like bringing life into it. Kind of the image I get is like if you rub a baby like after birth, and they're just kind of like lazing. They're not trying to take a deep breath. They're not really fully aware, and they like might rub them. You know what I mean? Like rub. Like I need to awaken. I need to, hello, wake up to the world. Like take a breath. You know what I mean? Like I need rejuvenation. Then I go to the pituitary gland. And again, I hear tryptocholine, but also melatonin. Melatonin is affecting your pineal gland. I can't see. Lack of. So this is all connected. So thyroid, pituitary gland, pineal gland, lack of melatonin production, but also absorption. lack of nurturing your body, and you kind of gave your power away to those emotions. And I feel like when you do that, it almost like creates a barrier of like, I can't move, right? I almost forget to take care of myself on levels that I'm really depleted in that, because that's part of it. Self-love is so important for you. So important. Not from others, from you. Everything's a reflection. Remember that. I'm still in the throat. I can't leave the throat. And it hurts on the left side. And then I'm irritable and I'm tired, and I feel like going through like different emotions very quickly, and it's like I feel like it's connected to my thyroid. And then oddly enough, I go to the emotional holding within the heart space, and then the clavicle. This is it's deep, and it all does connect in some ways. At least it's affecting compound, right? Is affecting. And then I go to my left breast, and I need to do a tissue repair and a little bit of a valve release. And it just going out to the, the whole breast. We'll just put it that way. And healing throughout the whole breast. So sending light through all of the ducts and the tissues. And they're kind of calling it a valve release. My ears are cloudy. Like I feel like a little bit of congestion going on. Yeah. So there was like a pineal gland stuff going on here. So it's all kind of blocked and kind of becoming compounded. I can't see clearly. And this like upgrade is like held. It hasn't processed. So there's a lot going on with my pineal gland, with my sinuses, with my whole entire head. And I feel some tingling right there when I say that. And so I'm just going to kind of flush it with some water. But I feel like the thyroid is what's truly affecting, and the adrenal glands, and then going into the pineal gland, into melatonin, into the pituitary and the pineal gland area. Like that really does affect us being able to dream and being able to see right, or even having nightmares. If that's off, we can actually spark more nightmares, they're saying, and things that are uncomfortable, right? And it's one of the ways that our brain works. Be very aware of victimhood consciousness on all layers. And when I said that choking hands went whoop. So I feel like that's what's doing that. That has everything to do with that victimhood consciousness. It's kind of choking you out. Power depletion, right? And recognizing where we give our power away, owning our responsibilities for our reality, no matter what it is. So whatever we lack on the outside, it's because we're not giving it to ourselves on the inside. Lack is holding you back. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Then I got a sharp pain in my thyroid. I thought I was done, and it was like oh, nope. So I'm going to bring some more water and soil now, and I need to bring the nutritional value to the thyroid. I need nutritional value to the thyroid. It's become a little bit dormant, like very hard and dense. Remember how I was like, wake up, rubbing the tissue? Like I feel like it's become very hard and dense and slightly dormant, which is also affecting the adrenal gland. And there's a part of that adrenal gland that became like necro, like dead. So I feel like I'm sparking some estrogen production and release, which my cheeks became a little rosy. That was the symbolism, or actual will happen. I don't know. But that was the image that I got, is like your cheeks just became very rosy, like a flush of like hormones, or a flush of adrenaline, or a flush of estrogen. And then I heard hemoglobin again.
Ah. Ah. Ah.
Yeah. And now all of a sudden, I feel like at the bottom of your heart space towards your solar plexus, there is a blockage.
Ah.
Dense energies, compounded. They're saying compounded emotions that you have been afraid to let go of.
Ah.
Because I feel like you won't know who you are anymore. These have become my identity. And it may have gained you something in the past, but it won't now. It's time to let them go so that you can be free. But also, that way your clavicle can fully heal. It is associated with that.
Ah.
You got to a certain point, and then I block it. Not me, but you. Now I need sunshine. So I'm just pouring the sun all over the, like through your crown and through your upper body, but it's going into your thyroid and also into your chest and into your adrenal glands and then your kidneys, like pure sun just coming on down. Vitamin D infused, right? Like pure healing light, vibrant. Like your vibration, check your vibration to your thoughts and your energy and your emotions. It's very low. So use that sunlight, call it in. So I'm just like flooding in the sunlight to help your body rise. And these are conditioned responses. So it's not like you're doing, these are things of the way things were, right? This is how we heal. This is healing out of them. It's lots of things going on. There's not one person on this planet that doesn't deal with these kinds of things in some way, shape, or form, and for whatever reason. I feel like there's this ball that just rose from like a ball of energy, and it's like my nose just began running on the left side too. I didn't want to say anything, but it's like starting to, I gotta pull it back in. Oh, there's like this ball. It's like a ball, and I can't swallow all the way. That is not love. That is not love. Oh. 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 And I hear conditioned responses, but like there's no reason and no excuses for it. You just can't do it. You can't do it. It truly is blocking my throat to my heart. Remember that feeling I had there? I feel like that's what this is. You need turmeric tea too. It'll help you continue to heal this, because I feel like I'm pulling out a ball of like dark energy. And you let in. It doesn't feel good. It really truly feels like this. Like if I swallowed a dumpling, like the solid mass.
ah,
Ugh. It hurt kind of. Ugh.
ah,
Ugh. Fear. I'm hearing fear. You give your power to fear in so many levels. So many levels. You have to be very careful with that. Very careful with fear. That is something you have to call your power back from. Fear does not exist. There is no reason to fear. And I hear people always constantly say, well, fear is a good thing if used in the right ways. Like we need fear. No, we don't. In the house of God, in the light of God, we see, we feel, we know. Like there's no reason to feel or fear, I should say. There's no reason to have any fear. It actually takes us out of the light of God. It's very blinding and binding, and fear does not serve you at all for any reason in the light of wholeness. It's not, it's an ego state of being. Survival, if you look at the matrix, we're not meant to be constantly in survival mode. That is false. That is false.
ah,
Ugh. It's like foaming. So it's like fight or flight, survival, and fear, but they've also gained you something in the past. So it's almost like you hold on to them for a reason, but it's not going to get you what it used to get you. It will not serve you in any way, shape, or form. It will only harm you
ah,
because it doesn't match with the light of God. And then I get this image of like, you know how sunlight will reflect off of a mirror? I feel like I'm taking a mirror. So this is a reason for that. What do mirrors do? They reflect. So I'm taking a mirror to your throat and I'm shining the light as a reflection into your throat. So you need to look at these reflections through the image of a mirror.
ah,
Shine the light into your truth through that reflection through you, through the light. Bring the light in through the reflection of you into the truth.
ah,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's like I'm taking a mirror and I'm reflecting the sun into the throat. But I'm also pouring down some nectar that's going to heal, and turmeric tea with some ginger and some chamomile and a little bit of honey will help heal that space. It just feels raw. It feels like like something that was there that shouldn't have been, and now it feels like it's widened, and it shouldn't stay that way, if that makes sense. So it's not like it's like painful. It just feels really weird, wonky, a little bit sore, a little bit tired, a little bit drained in energy. So chamomile, turmeric,
ah,
and ginger with a little bit of honey, and drink that warmth and allow it to coat your throat. And then visually, I want you, so I don't want you, spirits recommending like lots of visuals of beautiful sunshine and flowers and spring. Bring spring. What is spring? Newness, planting seeds, birthing of new things, birthing of ideas, brightness, healing, light, sunshine, transition from winter to spring kind of energy. And so in your mind's eye, in your thoughts, in your creation, in your visualizations, even what you surround yourself with, bringing a lot of sunflowers, sunshine, flowers, bees, like spring. So when you're watching imagery or when you're trying to meditate, you can literally look at a field of spring. Does that make sense? A field of spring. That's kind of like look at a field of spring. And then I want you planting seeds. Planting seeds. Like, this is what I want to create. This is what I'm creating. This is what's happening. This is what's coming in. Saturation in the right things, not the wrong things. Okay?
ah,
Wrong things meaning what we don't want to create. So field of spring, planting your seeds, sowing your dreams, creating from that space. But also, this is very important, is that mirrored light into your throat. You need to look within you, the reflections of you, into your truths. Not from a victimhood consciousness standpoint, but from love. Where am I not doing these things for myself, and why? And not reflecting on anybody else. You only. You. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, this person hurt me, or this, don't do that. It's always you. Why is this affecting me? Why am I so focused on that? Why am I worried about that? Where is the lack within me? Where am I drained? Where am I not feeling love because I'm not giving it to myself? The mirror reflections light into you. And I feel better. I feel better. I feel like your adrenal gland, I see it like new tissue forming. Like, I don't know how to describe that. It's almost like if you're looking at a petri dish and all these things just start going bloop, 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 bloop. That's how I see in your adrenal gland. The left one in particular. Your thyroid needs a lot of love, so make sure you're doing a lot of nurturement, sunshine in your energy, even if you don't have some in your reality. Speaking only love, like, it truly needs a lot of love and reflections through all that you do. And how do you speak about yourself? Be very careful with that too. But also, in your foods, are there iron-rich foods, a lot of like vitamins in what you're eating and doing? Supplements are not always the best way, but when we nurture through listening to our bodies some more, to what we need to eat and drink and do, helps. It can help too. Okay. Like, look at your throat, feel into your throat and go, what do I need to eat today? What do you need, my dude? Like, what do you need? What can I give you? And then wait until you hear it, right? Wait until it responds. Wait until you get that insight through visual, through, oh, I want that, or whatever. I'm also hearing grapefruit. When I said that, I literally see you at a store holding a grapefruit. So that might be something you need right now. Vitamin K, also in vitamin A. Kidneys are really associated with vitamin A, something about A. Yeah. And no excuses. There's no reason not to. No reason not to believe in yourself. No reason not to focus on love. No reason to give yourself time to focus on the sadness. Why not just focus on love, right? Don't focus on the sadness. Don't for one breath focus on the wrong things anymore. Once your vibration shifts high enough, then you'll see clearly. It's not about knowing, it's about doing. I feel better. My body feels better. My chest is a little sore, but I feel like that's that damaged tissue too, and a little bit of clogging in the ducts. So it's going to continue flushing, but also repairing the tissue. The femur that we scraped is part of that, and it's also part of the myelin sheath repair and all that other stuff. And your clavicle is waiting to repair in the genome coding. So there's like some reparation to the bone structure there that will process through when you give space for it to do so, when you're ready to truly let that pain go. Because I feel like that pain you've used as a crutch before, like it gained you something, but it won't anymore. It's okay. Like it's almost hard for your brain to compute that it'll be okay. You know what I mean? It reminds me of like the animal healings, that the brain might not commute that, hey, I can put my foot down all the way now. You know what I mean? Like the wound is gone. Like I truly can use this and it'll be okay. Like if we tell ourselves it won't, then it won't, right? So some of that is mental. Yeah, and emotional. Okay. And I feel like I'm starting to come out of your energy and into my spatial presence and awareness, and that my nose is really runny. So So I'm going to leave the bubble of golden light around you and protective energy. You can constantly call in like obsidian or onyx. Both of those are kind of coming out in your energy as a protective bubble, and that will help you. This cloud will completely dissipate when you stop allowing it to come through your mouth, right? Like nothing negative, only love. You got to just make sure you stand in the power of light. Now I feel my forehead, like my pineal gland can start to process an awakening, but you have to ride that wave, okay? And there's a little tenderness between my heart chakra and my solar plexus chakra. So they have been wounded, they're tender. So you just keep shining light into them, keep imagining sunlight filling them, but also with the choices of self-love. So these are reflecting through the lack of like love towards self and speaking anything outside of that. Okay. So your body is asking you to understand and own the connection of the totality of yourself and how everything we do affects ourselves. Okay, that's kind of the stage you're at now, which is a good one. It's a powerful one. Coming into the wholeness of self. Like if you think about when I first met you, were so detached from yourself. So this is a layer of coming into the wholeness of how our whole body works together, our whole mind, body, soul connection, and how one layer affects the other. So it's actually a level up in understanding. Our lens is everything. Now I feel really like parched, like I'm super hungry. So I'm going to call my energy all the way back from yours and give you all yours back and kind of clear all that and come to where I can open my eyes. Oh my goodness. One of your exes tried to choke you out a few times during your relationship. So that was real hands on your throat. Yeah, okay. Half your thyroid was removed from a tumor. I knew something happened to your thyroid. I couldn't remember if they surgically removed it. I just knew that you have half and that's where it was feeling it. So thank you for validating that again. 2013. So yeah, so everything is quite layered in what I did, right? And so I would feel like there's some also reverberating emotions from that hands on the throat, right? Because it wasn't just a physical, but I heard domestic violence as well. So that melatonin every night is a bit sketch. You want your body to get to where it does it somewhat on its own. So maybe try every other night, every now and then, and give your body time to process a little bit. That's an option. Because how do we know if we come into full functioning if we're always using a supplement? So like my kids, if they ever use melatonin or anything, I only let them do it once every now and again, and they don't really need it as much. But that's just an option. I'm not here to be you know what I mean? Like it's just a thought. Yes. But it's like truly time to detach from all that stuff. And that reflections into your truth is very important. It's self-reflections, not thinking about the ex, but thinking about myself, right? Like maybe I did have an asshole in my reality who choked me out, but what am I still holding on to? Where's the trauma within me? I will never get that. You know what I mean? Like truly use those reflections within you to see where it's affecting you in your reality today and what is being asked to release further continually. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions about that? It drained me. It was a good one. Also, are you drinking enough water or is it just not absorbing? I'm hearing both. Drink water, nurture yourself. No questions. Okay. I feel like when you get sad, you don't realize that you kind of just go like, ooh, and kind of stop a little bit of nurturing yourself, but don't forget to do that. I feel like when emotions are high, the most important thing you can do is that self-love without delay. And I feel like when you do that, it's going to spark a shadow because I feel like that's really hard for you to do. Yeah. That's good. But keep going with it, like not just one day of it, right? Just get a routine of it. Routine of healthy water flow. It just helps in general, especially with these energies coming in. I feel like that's so important. But one of the most difficult things is when something sparks these wounds or these emotions rise, like it's almost like subconsciously. Yeah, definite routine was off. So, and we can't let things take us off our foundation anymore. Like you're in control of that. Okay. So call your power back. But subconsciously, you stop loving yourself to the physical reality. So make sure you're anchoring more into that self love, self reflection, self love. You deserve that love. And nobody else can give it to you right now because God is asking you to give it to you. Does that make sense? That's a big one. Very loud in my ear. Like you've got to give yourself that self-love because you look for it external, but it has to come from you. Nobody else can give it to you right now. So what you're missing on the external, you're not giving to yourself. Start using that mirror. Okay? For everything. So if you feel like, unseen and unrecognized, where am I not recognizing myself? If I'm feeling unloved, truly, where am I not loving myself? And then fill those and do it. And okay, does that make sense? I have to do it too. It's just part of rising into our own sovereignty and the reflections and truths of who we are. Because let's say if I want likes on things, I'm going to give a lot of likes. You know what I mean? And so what we need, we do. If I need love, I want to emanate love. I want to feel love because that's going to call that in. I don't like those laws, but think of like the law of attraction. It's just vibrations. Think of everything as a vibration, not a law, because a law is very rigid. Vibrations are vast. Okay? All right. That was amazing. Amazing. Roger, if you're still here, how are the fires around you and stuff? Are you safe in California? Remember we talked years ago when I was doing all that work to Mount Shasta and stuff that you were trying to move, and I'm wondering if you're affected. If you're still here, he may not still be here. I'm just curious before I bunk out. Sending you lots of safety, but I'm also hearing to trust your intuition, Roger. Okay. Very awesome. Awesome. And thank you for all the validations. I don't think I knew anybody put their hands on your throat, but I saw that. And I'm sorry for that. Nobody should ever go through anything like that. Oh, yeah. Like, been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. No, thank you. No, thank you. Toxic relationships. But then you have to ask, what in me called that relationship forward? Why would I allow somebody to not love me in such a way? Right? So where in you were you so down on yourself that you thought that was love? Right? Because at some point you did. I can say this because I was there. Where was I allowing somebody to take my light? You know what I mean? Why was I not loving myself enough to not let that in? New fires. Yeah. So I knew that was coming. I think I said that recently when I talked about the fact that I predicted the fires, that there will be new ones. And there will also be truths ousted in the Palisades and Hollywood, like more. I don't think they're going to stop today. They stop in God's time, right? Because the energy doesn't align in a very big manner. But they're also designed for exposure and purging. There's a couple layers to that, but there's also something more coming. So I feel like California is going to be bombarded a little bit with different things, but for a reason. So just trust your intuition, listen to your gut, but constantly tune within to that gut. So what's going to help you a lot, Roger, is that co-creative stance, like asking spirit for guidance, but also acting on it immediately. Okay. For everything. And you got to be able to trust that. You need to strengthen that. I just felt like you needed that to hear that. Okay. And so what I'm hearing is there will be big changes needed for repair. not just within you, like California. And some clarifications are coming. And this will also continue to the White House. So there will be purging and destructiveness for repair, but it's beyond what our minds can see. So that word, like, I believe, yeah, I would definitely just ask spirit for deepening, and because everything is so layered, sunshine, so there could be multiple reasons. It always stems down to one thing, and that's what is that one thing is where love is not. I'm not loving myself. Sometimes we try to find exactly when it happened, but it could be another lifetime too. Like, it could be so layered. So I don't give myself love. It's my self-worth. You pin it to that. Like, where is love not? Not like one relationship, but like it's across multiple, if that makes sense. I love that, Roger. Yay! Okay, but just be careful. Roger, did you know I undid the medical matrix last week? I undid it live here, and YouTube said, skedaddle, and cut it out and almost stole my video. I want to upload it again, but I'm sure they'll take it, so I have to wait. I thought about uploading it to Facebook because I know Zuckerberg said that he was being censored and he won't do that anymore. He was forcing to censor. He literally said he won't do that anymore. So I might try to upload it to Facebook soon, but there's a lot of shadow on Facebook, right? But I undid the medical matrix. It is actually in Patreon, but I would like to, again, upload it here as soon as possible. That was actually quite large. And so that field will change in a big way. Nice. Sweet. Yes, use it then. Get on out of there. But what I want you to do is just be expansive. Just don't anchor into old ways of things. Does that make sense? Look at more of an internal connection to the body approach. Do you hear what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? So instead of like an external approach to the medical field, I want you looking at it from an internal understanding of the body approach. Like Ayurvedic. How do you say that word? Ayurvedic. They believe in listening to the body as well. I feel like that's kind of where we became detached. Like when I was a kid, I was like, how does a doctor know more about my internalness more than I do? It didn't make sense to me. We've become detached from hearing our bodies and from our internal world. So if you can bring that forward and use that to get the hell out of Dodge and grow your understanding and your knowledge base and not anchor in too solidly into a falling foundation and giving space for it to expand where it's going to expand. Sweet. Yay. Yeah. Air 5. Woo. I love it. Yay. Sweet. I have a bit of a medical field. I went from that, though, into psychology. So I get it. Like, some are good to know. But I do want you to know that the false foundation of it will fall. And so as long as you can incorporate the body, the mind, and the soul into one wholeness, and knowing that their tools of operation weren't always the correct flow, and just give yourself room for expansion and growth and feeling your heart and going where you need to go and trusting that, you'll be great. And getting to Dallas, Texas. Hell yeah. Is Dallas right by the water? Or is it more like in the center of Texas? Personally, I just wouldn't want to be by the water. But that's just me because I feel like it's going to continue shifting. But Texas wasn't cut off life support. You're good. You're good. That's exciting. Yay! I'm so excited! When do you get to leave California? Remember I told you, like, you'll get out of there. Just trust the nudges, follow the nudges. I love it. And are you on like dating sites or anything? Because there was a woman from Georgia. Remember that? That's still in your energy. Why do I hear that? I'm sorry, Roger. I just started having a conversation with you. Like, you're my best friend. But I just remember these things coming out, and I feel like they're coming full circle. Yay! I love it. I'm so excited for you, Roger. That's really good to hear. It really is. And I hope all your dreams and wishes come true. Just be open. Don't anchor into anything. Just flow and grow and glow. Yeah. Also, in those kind of fields, make sure you're putting up lots of protections and clearing out energies, because it'll get mucky and you won't know what's yours and not. You are an empath, which I don't like that word because we all are. Mid-June. Okay. Hey, just keep putting up protections and see yourself on out of there. You know what I mean? Visualize and protect, and it'll be all good. God is good. The universe is good. So you have your avenue. That's amazing. I'm so excited. Yay! Woo-hoo! Oh, you've been talking with somebody for 5 months. Well, where is she from? Is Georgia in there? Has she ever lived in Georgia? I'm just curious. Yay! Woohoo! Cheers, Roger. I like that a lot. So that healing kind of knocked my socks off. My eyes feel all like, bleh, and I'm a little hungry now. I feel like standing at my fridge and shoving tomatoes down my throat after that one. You guys, these energies are so palpable. So please watch your thoughts, watch your words, only visualize what you want to create, because we are creating either way. And there will be resistance at times when it's something that's growth related. So just push past whatever resistance comes. When resistance comes, call your power back, cancel, clear, delete, and push past it. Okay. That's exciting. Congratulations, Roger. Cuba? Ooh, now that's hot. Whoop, whoop. I love it. Well, we'll find out where Georgia comes into play later. We will. We'll find out where that comes into play later. But that's amazing. I love it. I'm so happy about that. I feel like celebrating with you. Congratulations. I love to hear it. Stay safe. Also, what I'm hearing, Roger, is the water in California. Watch that. I feel like something toxicity is going to rise, and a lot of water might quite be toxic in California. So if you have a water filter, alkaline filter, that would be a really good idea. I know California's had issues with water in the past, because that's how my family was that used to live there. But I would definitely say watch the water, and I'm hearing that very loudly. It might be contributed to the fires and all the toxicity in the area, but I feel like this is deeper than that. So just watch the water. Get filters, whatever you got to do. They're not that expensive either. Okay? And stay safe. Stay rising. Stay love. Visualize love. Visualize that exit. Visualize whatever we want. You are a creator, and we can't let the shadow take that. Okay? We can't judge each other. We have to love each other. Never about right or wrong, where love is not. It's not a battle of ego. It's a battle of learning more love. Okay? And so if we can keep that perspective, things can get easier. Anchor into the right things. Number 1, anchor into the right things. Meditation, raise your vibration, clearing our head. When negative thoughts come in, I'm like, ooh, shut up. Like, I just go for a quiet head. Sweet. Awesome. I love that. And maybe an alkaline one, if that's what that is. It was perfect. It's like heavy metals, but there's also something about toxicity, Roger, and there's also something about a lab there. Sweet. I don't have any idea, but there's something about a lab there. And so there's more toxicity in the water and in the land there than people are aware of. And I feel like that some of these fires might expose some of that. We just have to wait and see when that will show. But when I put the animals through the portals, because I did that a while ago, there was a lab in California that kept coming through. When I did the medical matrix, there was something about that too. So just be aware of your surroundings. But that doesn't mean fear. That just means preemptive strike it. You know what I mean? Awesome sauce. All right, you guys. Stay love, stay light. But that doesn't mean we always have to be perfect, okay? If you have a bad day, we have a bad day. Just be very careful we don't continually flow negativity. We have to choose love. And when those do rise, it is a test. Clear it out, call your power back, put up protections, and truly push past that resistance. Speak love, create love, be love, and everything is a reflection of you. That's how we heal and clear karma. Remember, every test, no matter how big or small, is a choice. So any choice that rises, they're all choices. You always have a choice in something. And no matter how small those choices may seem, sometimes the smaller ones create massive change. And the world around you will not change until the world inside you has changed. You feel? Am I good? We good? We're good? Awesome sauce. Thanks you guys for being here. Thank you for Lisa allowing her healing to be live on the channel. I love doing healings. I do one-on-one healings all the time. Each one is always different. I am truly a master to all things, not just one. So they always blow my mind. I love them. It's a blessing. We are so blessed, and we're all powerful creators. We're all powerful healers. It's just removing what blocks us from that. Okay? So much love, my friends. I will see you next time. I feel like my eyes are like all drained and I probably look like crabsicles, but that's been the energy too lately. So I'm going to go eat and love on my kids and clean my house. That is my Sunday. Dance a jig, raise the vibration. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Bye.